Most people play life safe. It's easy to grab the video game and put it on novice. It allows you to get to the end. But when you play it on novice, you don't improve. You never find out what you can be because you've never been tested. It's the same way with life. As long as you play it safe, you will always be an underachiever. When you don't know what's possible because you never tried, nothing but guilt, frustration, and resentment can sit up inside of your heart for the rest of your life.
But what do people go watch when they go see a movie? They watch a romantic adventure. Well, why? Because that's what they want in their life. They don't want peace and tranquility, the pleasures of gratified infantile dependence. They want a bloody adventure.
How do you create your life? You get hungry for something, don't you? You started with a concrete vision of what you wanted, and you focused on it continuously, didn't you? Wherever focus goes, energy flows. You envisioned something, you got clear about it, and then you started thinking about all the reasons why you wanted it. So this is what's next for me now. I want this. You may have dreamed about it, thought about it, talked about it. But when you focus on something continuously, something magical happens. You get insights, don't you?
Success is the only revenge. All you do is you just become bigger than them, so that who they are in reference to you shrinks into irrelevant. You don't crush them, you shrink them in comparison to you. The goal is I'll just be so big that he will become irrelevant.
Let loose everything that's inside of you to find out what you can be. Pour out that can of what's possible so that the rest of the world can see that you're amazing.
Sit on your bed one day and ask yourself, what remarkably stupid things am I doing on a regular basis to absolutely screw up my life? And if you actually ask that question, but you have to want to know the answer, right? Because that's actually what asking the question means. It doesn't mean just mouthing the words. It means you have to decide that you want to know. You'll figure that's out so fast it'll make your hair curl. What would happen if you consulted yourself about the best possible outcome for you? You might get an answer.
The only thing that screws you up is limiting beliefs that you don't investigate, that you just accept. And it's two things. It's the state you're in, the mental emotional state. When you're pissed off, frustrated, sad, depressed, overwhelmed, you can't fight your way out of a paper bag, right? Because in that state, you're not resourceful. If you are feeling playful or creative or passionate or driven or hungry or grateful, you get a whole different set of insights and thoughts.
You need to make it a habit to start every fucking day validating yourself, because life is a marathon. Stop saying you don't have time. Just stop saying it, because when you say, I don't have time, you're making yourself feel behind. You're making yourself feel like you can't get it done. You're making yourself feel stressed out. Instead, this is what I want you to say. This is not a priority right now. Because when you say this is not a priority right now, you remind yourself that you're in control of what you focus on. You are putting your attention on what's important to you. And you are taking control of what you spend your time on, and suddenly you feel like you have more time.
We're trying so hard in our lives to fit in. We try to fit into certain groups, among certain friends. Yet the people we idolize most are the ones that stand out. But when you're prepared, there is no fear. There is no fear of failure, okay? Because even if you've walked out of something and feel like you failed at it, your preparation is so strong that you're gonna take that failure and turn it into the outcome you desire. And most people stop at failure, okay? We've all failed at things. I'm gonna continue to fail at stuff. It's the most powerful tool you can use.
An eagle flies at a certain altitude, and the only other bird flies at that altitude is another eagle. So if he finds himself flocking with pigeons, he may be flying too low. See, sometimes we asking ourselves, why my friends treating me like this? You hanging out with pigeons. Eagles ain't got time to gossip. Kings don't gossip. Fools party, kings celebrate.
The winners always show up. They're willing to lose in order to gain. This body, as great as you are, as sharp as you make the arsenal, it can't do anything if you don't have confidence in yourself. We all fall down in life. The question is, who gets back up? You go after it, and you give it all you had. If you lose, at least you tried, man. I failed. It's 10 times more of a man than someone said, what if? Because what if never went to the arena. When you guys find a fear, that fear will either create you or destroy you. I love fear. And the reason why? Behind every fear is a person you want to be. Fear is self-imposed, meaning it doesn't exist. You create it, you can destroy it too.
All fail. It's okay. What is not okay is that when you fail, you stay down. And winners will fail and get up. Fail and get up. You always get up. That is a winner.
Once you start questioning yourself, you already lost. Once you start questioning yourself, once you start going into a state of depression, and you start being by yourself, and you start thinking and wondering, once you start wondering, you already lost. Even if you don't believe. I gotta believe in me before anybody else believe in me.
The champions, guys. It's not their potential, it's not their genetics. It's their perseverance to always show up, always willing to fail, because in failure, that's part of success. Success is not, a marathon of life with just ups. Success is formulated through failures, through facing your fears, through falling down and getting back up. That's what creates the champion.
Let the world see that's what's been bottled inside of you has been shaken, stirred, and it's time to let this thing explode. Use your gifts, use your talents. Don't waste them.
I would say that not only do you want to stop being scared and do that thing that you don't know if you can do or not, but you know what you got to do is you got to start taking the steps now. Because when you're 18 years old, your life seems like it's gonna last forever. And I will tell you right now, it's not gonna last forever. And those years go by like a summer's day. And the next thing you know, you look up and you're 36 years old, or you're 44 years old. And that time's gone. You cannot get it back. You cannot get time back.
Nothing is gonna change if you don't make this change. So how would your life be different if you start choosing the right things? How would your life grow if you let go of the wrong things in your life? So I wanna challenge you right now. How would today be different for you? Because let's be real. A lot of us every single day, we choose the wrong things. We choose the wrong people. We choose people's opinions instead of our peace.
Life ain't fair to nobody. You just gotta fight through, man. You gotta bite back sometime.
So those dreams that you have, those goals that you have, don't put them off another second. Not 1 second. Get on them and go out and make them happen starting right now.
We have to always remember, our purpose will always be there, but the purpose is myself. Your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. On those bad days, when you think that you're alone, you just might be. Because you know why? No one else wants to fucking do it. So you be the motherfucker that always gets it done. Stay hard.
I just want to ask you this question. How would your life be different right now, today in this moment, if you start giving yourself some of those same things that you give everybody else? if you start giving yourself those same compliments that you give everybody else, if you start giving yourself that same grace that you always give everybody else, what if you decide to redirect your energy towards you for once?
Your fuel can never be the pain of what happened in your past, because if you focus on the pain, when the pain is alleviated, so are all your greatness. You see, your greatness is not based upon the fact that you don't want to hurt again. Your greatness comes out of the fact that you're finally getting to live. You had to go through that in order to make you. And now that you are a made man, a made woman, you have credibility and validity, and you don't need anyone to authenticate you because you are already phenomenal.
So when I created this mantra for myself that average is the enemy, that success is my responsibility, and that change can take place in an instant when we, I, you and me decide to flip the switch, I'm constantly reminding myself every single morning that I have control. Like the opposition wants us to stay average. Our neighbors want us to stay average. Hell, your family wants you to stay average, because when you change, your family fears that change. They don't like the 2.0 version of you. They don't like the evolved version of you. They don't like the version of you that all of a sudden is having higher standards in life and setting higher expectations. They are unfamiliar with that person, and that is scary to them. And so, yes, average is the enemy. And you must fight the momentum of average to break through to extraordinary.
The emptiness in your life isn't because you don't have enough rights. You have all the rights there are. You can get whatever you want whenever you want it. And if that's still not working, well, what are you missing? Well, maybe you're missing the opposite of that. A little bit of restraint, a little bit of sacrifice, some responsibility.
When that alarm clock goes off at 4 or 5 in the morning, your mind says no. You just say, this is what we do. It's what we do now.
When you're complaining, you know what you're doing? You're focusing on everything that's wrong in your life. What you focus on, you move towards.
When you gonna start realizing that, embodying that? When you gonna realize that you are the hero that you've been searching for? It ain't me, it ain't them, it ain't that, it is you. The hero that you're searching for in your story, you have already found. You see that person in the mirror every single day. But when you start choosing joy, when you start choosing peace, when you start choosing you, when you start choosing your worth, you start to understand that you are that hero. And now is the moment right now for you to walk into that. And I need you to walk into that, because people that you don't even know need you to walk into that. They need you. But you gotta start choosing your worth.
People who go after that stuff, what makes it worth it? It's got to be your passion. You got to love it. It's got to be what you are supposed to do. There's so many times in life you don't want to be doing what the you're doing. You can't just quit. Remember this. This isn't a hobby. This isn't a joke. It's a lifestyle. So what you say to yourself is important. There's no coach. There's no trainer to keep you going. It's only you.
Every poor decision you've made in your life, there was more emotion that was involved in it than there was mine.
Quit using the word luck, quit believing in luck, and start believing in work. Start believing in results that come from your actions. We come into this world alone. We die alone. What we do between those times is success or failure.
You gotta want the best out of your life for you, because we only have a moment on this earth. Belief is what excels and pushes people through the stratosphere. What I tell people is the way you get to the next level of your life is keep going. Keep going, keep running. Even when you don't even know, even it turns into chaos. You cannot be great if you cannot operate in chaos. That's my life. Because if you can operate in chaos, the world becomes Disneyland.
If you're in a spot and you don't know what to do, and you're not sure where to go, and you don't know where the right direction is, start walking and start looking for opportunities. And they'll show up.
Stop holding on to what someone did to you in the past. It's holding you prisoner. And because you're a prisoner, you think that everyone else is a warden trying to hold you back or hold you down. They're not. Release that so that you can be free. And because a freed man celebrates, a freed man realizes that he's no longer a slave, he is no longer bound, he is no longer limited, he no longer needs validation. You be free. Because when you find yourself free, you can operate without guilt.
The moment that you start something, path will start to clear out. And you might not know what's going to happen or how it's going to happen, but I promise you, if you pick that thing that you love, I'm talking about you really love, I'm talking about that thing that you will do for free. If you pick that every day, if you choose that every day, consistently, it's inevitable for you not to be successful. And those kids gotta understand, you gotta stay true to yourself. You gotta have the ability to think for yourself. And know that sometimes you're gonna have to be a man before you become one. But you're ready for it.
You can do what you put your mind to. And if you continue to put your mind to it, the game opens up new levels.
There's probably like 5 things I could do today so that tomorrow morning is slightly better than this morning was. At least I'm not falling behind. It's not going to be something you want to do. There'll be things you're trying to avoid. They're snakes, essentially. If you ask yourself, instead of telling yourself, what is it that I could do to set things more right today? Then you can go do it. And then you put the world together a little more. You also construct yourself into something that's better able to call order forth from chaos. And that makes you just incrementally stronger.
How can a trial, how can a struggle, how can that hard time, how is that building my life? Right? Just because the path isn't perfect doesn't mean the purpose of the path isn't perfect for your life. A lot of times we have to go through trials in order to gain the strength. A lot of times we have to go through hard times in order to build our strongest faith.
I think people give up because they don't believe what they see. People don't believe the greatness that's in them. Because the world created this superstar elite group that's just human, just like us. But when we see them on television, we look at them as higher than us. We look at them in a place where we think we can never get to. And the real reason is, most people never get out the stands and get in the game. They stay fans their whole life. So I tell everybody, get off the stands and get in the game. Get in the game of life and leave your mark here. Every human being on this earth has their own journey. And when you don't focus on yours, you will not bring the great gifts and things that you were supposed to bring to the world.
When you're in the mirror in the morning, don't just give affirmations. Give yourself accountability. Give yourself the truth. Today I will be honest in all my dealings. Today I will confront those who have done me wrong in a mature and professional way.
Well, you can either lift up a cross or have one dropped on you. You need something beyond that. Why? Because life in some ways is unbearable. And so you need something worth bearing to make it bearable. And life is very heavy load. And so that means you have to carry something very heavy to justify it.
Like the best gift comes from the bottom. Like only in the womb of a woman can a man breathe underwater. Like God leaves your gift at the bottom of the stairs, and it's up to you to climb up those stairs and get your gift.
See, I think that when you decide to take a leap and you handle the challenges that you're facing, read something about fear. That's one of the things that keeps us from beginning to live life. People take the courage to journey into the center of their fear. They find nothing. It is only many layers of fear being afraid of itself. And Eleanor Roosevelt said, you gain strength, courage, and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You're able to say to yourself, I've lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. You must do the thing you cannot do.
Your feelings don't matter. You may feel like doing something, maybe you don't feel like doing something. Doesn't matter.
If you gaze into the abyss long enough, you see the light, not the darkness. It's like gaze upon that which you are most afraid of. But that story doesn't end there.
You're an original. There's only been one of you. There is no one like you. There is no one that can do exactly what you do. Your story is unique. Your story is what will give way to glory. Your story. What you've been through, what you've experienced, what you've survived. Yes, I know you've had pain. I know you've had disappointments. Yes, I know you wanted to give up, but you can't. You see, pain must continue in our lives because it is a reminder that we are alive. It is a reminder that we found a boundary, that we got a breakthrough. And when you get a breakthrough, you turn into that beast that everyone talks about. You turn into that monster. You turn into that one that can make a difference. You're the playmaker. You're the shot caller. You're the difference maker. But in order to become that, you must go through that pain, that discomfort.
Why are you so nervous? Because the day you become content, the day you stop evaluating yourself, the day you stop growing, the day you stop getting better is the day you die, is the day the person who's trying to catch you will get you.
Get up before the sun. Be ready to attack. Yes, that means get up early. This will be hard at first, but it will become normal. And once you are accustomed to it, early rising is guaranteed to make your day better. So get after it.
A lot of people are telling you to set goals, and I get it. That's a great mindset to have. But I'm gonna tell you something, that's a dangerous mindset to have. Because a lot of us, we set our goals based upon our experiences, not off of our capabilities. And what I mean by that, a lot of times when we set goals, we limit ourselves. Goals are something that you reach. Let's be real, how many times have you reached the goal and then you got complacent? How many times have you reached the goal and then you fell off? Because you got comfortable, because in your mind says, I've arrived. Once you reach that weight loss goal, you relax because your mind says you arrived. And a lot of times we fall off because that arrival mindset happens. And the truth is about life, the ones that really meet the greatest version of themselves, the ones that really live the greatest life, they never arrive.
The problem is most of us will say life is too painful and we start losing ourselves. Sometimes it's because we start loving someone else more than we love ourselves and then realize that we too are special. Sometimes it's because we'll look at a sport
and think that because we lost that game that we lost something of value or some kind of purpose. If I lose my undefeated status, it doesn't mean that I can't be the greatest. If Muhammad Ali can be remembered as the greatest and he had losses, so can you. Losses are not things that you can be ashamed of. It was a failure in a moment. But it is only a failure that stays if you don't try to get back up. You are more than the pain you go through. The pain is a reminder that you can go through. It's not a stopping point.
Fight them as they creep in with their offers of instant gratification and immediate rewards. Fight them for every inch they try to take. Do not surrender any ground ever.
You live in a dominant culture that is designed to destroy your sense of self and your belief in yourself, and you have to learn ways in which you can begin to connect with this power that you have within yourself to handle where you are. The key is to be constantly in a perpetual process of discovering the truth of who you are and fighting constantly to look for ways in which you can escape the inner conversation.
Because, sure, life is tough, but it gets a lot easier when you're laughing at it. So, despite the suffering, in fact, to spite the suffering, to spite the hardship, to spite the challenges, laugh at them all. They can't stand it when you do. And they all get easier. Yes, laugh at them all. Laughter wins.
It's something that tells you that there is layers to greatness. Some people will stop at good enough. Others will stop at good. Others will realize that good can give way to very good. And then the real champions realize I can be great. Doesn't mean I'm great in every area, but in this one thing that I perfect, this one thing that wakes me up in the morning, and this one thing that makes me go to my knees and thank God for giving me this gift.
I can, I will, I must. We turn tragedy into triumph. We turn that's what lions do. Lions don't cry, lions don't give up, lions don't quit, lions hunt. That's what we do for a living.
Remember, goals are something that you reach. That's what average people do. That's what people with great intentions do. But standards are things that legendary people do. The people that separate themselves, the people that lead instead of follow, because they understand standards are something that you live by. Make it a standard to become the greatest version of yourself. It all starts with you.
And at the end of life, when you take that last breath, you can have a sense of satisfaction instead of regret. You did more with less than others did with most.
You may not feel qualified. You don't think you have the talent. The odds are against you. You wouldn't have that opportunity if you weren't already equipped. It's in you, but you have to call it out. You have to start blessing yourself. You'll be tempted to talk about all the reasons why you're not able. It's too big. You don't have the resources. You come from the wrong family. Or don't curse yourself.
Great at. There's lots of hierarchies to attempt to climb, and if you fail in one, go try in another. But the point is, you're still trying to aim for the top. And what the hell are you going to do if you don't try to aim for the top? You know, flap about uselessly and whine about your life? It's not helpful. It'll just make you miserable. You're not reliable to anyone. You can't help out in a crisis. I don't care what you're going to do, but go out there, make something of yourself for God's sake. Be an honest person and work and get to the top of whatever it is that you want to get to the top of. Stand up for yourself like a respectable human being and be a bit of a light on the world instead of a blight.
There's nothing people can say, nothing they can do that can keep you from your purpose. And yes, there may be seasons of disrespect where it looks like they're getting the upper hand, but your time is coming. The meal is being prepared. You can trust the faithfulness of God.
Decide to live your fantasy. See, in life, you can go through life, you can come up with reasons or you can come up with results. You can come up with excuses or you can come up with achievements. You can go through life blaming or you can come up with solutions. The choice is in your hands, satisfaction or despair. We can choose that.
I will try 100 times to get up, and if I fail 100 times, if I fail and I give up, do you think that I'm ever going to get up? No. But if I fail, I try again and again and again. For as long as I try, there's always that chance of getting up.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that's what most people miss out of life. You've got to be willing to risk. If you're not willing to risk, you can't grow in life.
Have a vision of the person you could become, and to reach the pearly gates, as it were, see who you could have been, contrast it with who you actually are, and be disappointed by the gap between them. And I love chasing that. I think it's a beautiful chase. But what I hope you guys will do, if you ever find yourself at the pearly gates disappointed in how much farther you could have gone, to simply ask one question of yourself every day. Did I give it my all today?
If you took on all the responsibility you could take on, and you faced everything that you needed to face, who would you be? And how would the world transform around you?
Wondering why other people are successful is the refuge of losers. It's a loser mentality. It's a loser occupation. It's a loser practice. Because you're wondering why other people are successful. Like, who gives a you can say you think it sucks, but to spend time wondering why someone is successful and hating on someone being successful, it doesn't do any good.
If your life is a series of yes, I did, you've won. You've won. Guys, the struggle is guaranteed. The struggle is guaranteed. The struggle is guaranteed. The success is not. And like, the thing that I beg you guys is to have the guts to fail at something that you love. And when you are on the mud, on your face, and people are laughing, the I told you so's are coming out, that you remember one simple fact. You loved what you were doing. And you left it out on the field. What the f*** else is there? What the f*** else is there? What more can you ask of yourself than to really try, to really say, I give a shit about this? That's the life to live. That's the life. Like, to say, I care about this, it matters. It gives me purpose. I'm gonna fight for this. This is a group of people I wanna serve.
And it turns out that if you face things, that you can put up with a lot more than you think you can put up with, and you can do it without becoming corrupted.
You can also find every excuse as to why you won't make it. You can find every reason, if you look for it, as to why you won't make it. But at the end of the day, there's going to be two groups of people. And one group is going to be a lot fucking bigger than the other group. The one group is going to get told that they can't do it. And instead of fighting, and instead of working, and instead of, saying, well, Dad, I'm not willing to accept that, those people are going to just take it. And that's what society's counting on. Society is counting on you giving up. Then there's going to be a smaller group. And the smaller group is going to be the group that says, hey, you know what? I hear what you're saying, but I'm not willing to accept that. I'm not willing to just roll over and take what I'm given. I'm not willing to stop trying because you say that I can't fucking do it. That's what you say. That doesn't mean it's the truth.
And I'm gonna go all the way out every day. And look, you're not gonna hit it every day. There's gonna be days where you're off. There's gonna be days where you're weak. But if that day, instead of bullshitting yourself, instead of saying I wasn't weak today, what are you talking about? If that day you own it and you say, yeah, I was weak today and I'm not gonna be weak tomorrow, but I'm not afraid to face that. I'm not afraid to look in the mirror and say today was a bad day, that I didn't make myself proud today, but that shouldn't diminish who you are.
I know from living that if you quit whatever you're trying to accomplish, if you quit, whatever you were trying to accomplish can never happen. There's not even a remote possibility. If you quit, there is no chance of it popping back up again, coming back later. Quitting is guaranteed failure.
Only those that can see the invisible can do the impossible. You have to be able to see what doesn't exist in order to be able to pull off or achieve what in most people's minds seems to be impossible. Only those that can see the invisible, being able to see what's not there. What is your vision? What is your idea? What was that God-sent dream?
And so whatever the volcano is, you have the capacity to take that volcano on, the capacity to jump in it and find your true identity. Here's another thing that keeps a lot of people from taking on the volcanoes and jumping into the challenges that they're confronted with: the fear of making mistakes or not feeling good enough. Guess what? You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to make a lot of mistakes. Guy said this, and it's true. He said the person who's never made a mistake hasn't done anything.
Success and failure are generally slow processes. Either slowly building things up or gradually tearing them down. And that's why I say you've got to pay attention. You have to watch. You have to watch every single second. Because those seconds, they turn into minutes. And minutes turn into hours, and hours turn into days, and days turn into years.
I may be weak. I'm going through something. It doesn't change who I am. What I'm going through does not change who I am.
You're going to make some mistakes if you want to do something out here. You're going to fall flat on your face. You're going to be criticized when you come out into the arena called life. You're going to feel awkward and stupid and dumb sometimes. It goes with the territory.
To be relentless. You have to never let off the gas, never stop, never quit. Never allow anyone to talk you out of the dream, the vision, and ideas that God has sent you.
second that just went by, that counted. And so did that second. And so did that one. And in those precious seconds, you were either building or you were decaying. You were either gaining ground or you were losing ground in that second.
Like, I believe in life, you got two separate people. You got champions, right? And they go through things in life that are self-inflicted. They bring it upon themselves, they get through it, they say, man, I got through it. And then you got warriors, right? They walk outside, the wind hits them, knocks them down, they pick up their stuff, they adjust, and they get moving, and they deal with the adversity that they didn't expect. They set their perspective right, and they figure out a way to embrace it and add value to every environment that they go into and every person's life that they come in contact with.
Now, when you're trying, you're going to fail. But quitting, just stopping, that was the number one thing I understood. And then number two, you have to make sure that your dreams, your aspirations and goals are so big that not accomplishing them is not an option.
God didn't bring you in this world to be average. God didn't bring you in this world to wake up and die one day and just be another person that lived and died and didn't do anything significant in this world. Let me say something. It's very important that you listen to this. Most of you, you're so consumed with everything that's going on in the world. This is the reasons you haven't figured out your own life yet. You can never shine trying to sit on someone else's sun. You can never figure out who you are if you're consumed in everything that everybody else is and what they're doing and the moves that they're making.
When you are struggling with what to do, who you are, what's your next move, you are in an identity crisis. You are struggling with just who you are. See, you have not discovered who you are. You have to discover who you are in order to move you forward.
Every single day. So, you want to get better? You want to self-improve? Stop looking for a shortcut and go find your alarm clock and find your discipline and find your guts and your passion and your drive and find your will. And then you will find your freedom.
So a lot of people, if you've never made any major blunders, made some major mistakes, taken some serious risks, you haven't started living yet. You don't call that living. Not rocking the boat, going through life quietly, tiptoeing safely to an early grave.